Hello there, it's Jay here from Jay's Vintage Junk, and today I thought we'd have a quick look at this. Now this is that eprom programmer I got in my eBay lot, and at first I thought there wasn't much I could do with it because I scoured the internet trying to find any software for this thing, and what I found out is that the company that made it, Speedmaster, they're still going today. But they pulled out of the UK market in 2004. Their US website doesn't have anything old enough to drive this eprom programmer. So I thought I was a bit stuck, and I went on one of the forum. It's actually a vintage radio forum, which I'm on every now and again, just to ask, and there's plenty of old engineers on there. And a couple of them were kind enough to rake through their old hard drives, and they actually managed to find me the both the MS-DOS and the Windows software to actually operate this thing. Now I must admit I've not managed to get the Windows software to work yet. Apparently it was created after this device was already obsolete, and it's kind of officially it's not compatible with it, but unofficially yes, it does work with it. I'm having some issues with some DLL files at the moment, and I just can't get the thing to work. However, the original MS-DOS software for this I have got to work. I've actually got it working on this old Packard Bell laptop. This is a great little laptop actually. It's an AMD K62 550. It runs Windows 98 with, obviously it boots into DOS. I've got it split so it boots into DOS, and then you obviously can boot it into Windows 98. It's 98 SE. It's got two USB 1.1 ports on it, which means we can actually communicate with modern storage media. It has a 3.5-inch floppy drive on it, which basically it makes it a really useful laptop. And it's got proper serial and parallel ports on it. So I managed to get the files off the chap, stick them on a USB stick, stick them in this, and I've got them loaded up on this computer. Like I said, it has got a proper parallel port on it, which is what this programmer uses. And it turns out this isn't just a programmer, this is really a component analyzer. It's absolutely amazing what this thing can do. I've just been having a little play with it now really, and I'll show you some of its features, what it can actually do. But what I thought we'd do first is, if you remember when I bought this, it came with a mystery eprom with the window uncovered on it, actually on the programmer. So what I thought we'd do first is load the software up and show you what's on that eprom. Well, what we'll do, like I said, I'm running this under Windows, but this is actually the MS-DOS software for it. It's just a bit easier because I've no mouse driver installed in this computer at the moment, and it seems quite happy to run under Windows. And in fact, with the icons and what have you you've got in here, I think it was actually intended to be able to be run through Windows. It does complain a little bit about some directory or something, but it does seem to work. And what I thought we'd start with is, well, I haven't got any for now, but this thing can program PALs. And it's got a piece of software, if you look here, to allow it to actually program a PAL. And this software, even though it's MS-DOS software, it's actually quite nice and easy to use. You literally file. You've got file, load, save, view, quit. You can look at your buffer, read, verify, blank check, program, erase, some security stuff, and then you can select which part it is from which manufacturer. And this thing's got a lot. I do mean a lot of ICs in it. So these are all your PALs. So I haven't got any PALs. Oh, I have got some PALs, but I've not got anything to do with any PALs at the moment. It's just really cool that this thing can actually program PALs. I presume it can program GALs as well. It's basically the same technology as far as I believe. So let's get out of this. Let's go to F, Q, and to quit out of that. And let's have a look at the eprom software we've got for it. This is under eprom. And we'll just enlarge this so you can see it properly. Oops, no, that was as big as it gets. I think it'll drag it to full size. No, I think that's as big as it gets in Windows, but I'm sure you can see that. Let me see if I can zoom you in a little bit. Oops, and up. I'm not on my normal tripod here, so it's a bit difficult to do this. But anyway, you can see the software here. It's very similar to what come on the original Wallem programmers, the MS-DOS software for the Wallem programmers. It's fairly easy to use, like I said, even being DOS software. It's exactly the same, basically it's the same interface as on that when I've just shown you for the PALs. But what we can do, I've already read this out, so it's already the first part in there, but I'll show you what you basically do. It's if you go to parts, so just press P, click on manufacturer. Now it's a Hitachi part, that. So we go down to Hitachi, and it's an old part, so we can go down to Hitachi old. Click on there, it's an eprom, so we click on there. And I know for a fact, 'cause I've just looked it up, it is a HM422764G. So we click on that there, and that says part name, manufacturer Hitachi old, part name, and then how it's actually set up. So it's an 8K by 8, 28 pin EEPROM. Gives you all the programming voltages and everything. And then we can read that part out and see what's actually on there. So if we type action, sorry, so for A for action, and then the first thing on there is read. So if we click, in fact we could read it or verify it. Let's read it. This basically telling us how it wants to read it. We can press F10 there, and as you can see it's reading the chip and gives us a byte checksum. Press any key, and if we can see I've never seen this before in my life, but the chips basically the ASCII part of the chip there is all full of little smiley faces. Let's see if we can zoom you in so you can actually see this. Oh, it seems to have reversed on my camera, but I don't know why it's done that. I'm sure you can still read it. But if you look up here, we've got loads of little smiley faces. I'll get you somewhere where you can actually see the next part of it. There we go, you can see that there. So what I thought, so that's basically what's on the chip that came with the programmer. So I think it was someone having some fun there. What I thought we'd do is I've got some of my other EEPROMs, just random EEPROMs here, and let's see if some other sizes and models of EEPROM will actually read out. I'm only going to try ones that I can actually read the read what's on there without actually having to scrape a label off or anything. So we've got one here. I think this might be an old, half of an old BIOS chip from like a 286 or a 38, probably a 286, because they seem to use two of these. It's high, whatever it is, so it's only one half of it, but we can have a look what's on it. This is a Texas Instrument part, and it's a TMS 27C256. So let's see if we can read that on this programmer. So we'll stick it in the programmer. You don't need to see me do that. I think everyone's seen me shove a chip in a programmer. Right, and then we will go to parts. So we go P, manufacturing. It's Texas Instrument this time. So let's go down here. Got Texas Instruments there. It's an EEPROM, and then we've said it's a. Did we say it was a 256 or a 128? Hang on, I'll have to double check. It is a 27C256. So let's put that back in. Make sure it's the right way around. So for these, it goes with the notch towards the lever. So we said 27C256. So it's a 27C256, which is that part there. Select that, and then we'll go to action. We will read it. Press F10. It's reading the chip out. Obviously it'll take a bit longer because it's a bigger chip. Right, that one's got a verify error on it. So I mean, these are old chips out of my stock. I'm not guaranteeing they are all going to read. I've got its sister chip here, which should be exactly the same. Actually, that's it's exactly the same chip. That's a 128. Did I read that out wrong? Is it a 128, not a 256? That could make sense. That's a 256, this is a 128. Let's try this. It gives us a few complaints. Let's try this chip. This is same Texas Instrument. This is the 27C128, so it's the next one down. Let's go to part, manufacturer, Texas Instruments, eprom, and it's a 27C128. Okay, and let's action. Let's try reading this out. Seems that's maybe faulty as well. It's either faulty or, like I said, just over the years it's got bit rot. Let's try verifying it. So action, verify, and then F10. Yeah, it's got some issue with that chip. Let's try a different one. See what else we've got. We can easily see what's got on it. Ah, there. That might do. Another Texas Instrument. This is another 27C128. So we should just got to shove this in and see what this one does. So I'm really just playing about with this machine at the moment. I've not done anything serious with it, but it's really cool. I've actually managed to get the software for it, so I can actually have a play with it. This is a bit of a manky one. This is got the old bent pin on it. There we go, it's in. It's the right way in. Let's see if this one will read. So let's buffer. I wonder if we can clear the buffer. No. Escape. Alright, so let's go action. Let's try and read this one out. Again, that came with the bike check something, but said some of the. Let's try verifying it. I mean, these chips could really just do with wiping and then testing like that. I've just literally grabbed them off the pile for a bit of a play. So it verifies all right, but that's not really what I wanted to show you with this thing. It's got some other rather cool little features on it. Like I said, it's more an IC analyzer rather than just a straight EEPROM programmer. So if we clip out of this, and it's got this program called chip test. So if we load up chip test and bring that up, if you look here, you can program 74. Sorry, you can test 74 series ICs, 4000 series ICs. There's a user library, SRAM library, DRAM library, SIM library, which I don't think you can test SIMs on this because it's a much earlier programmer. But let me show you what we can do with it. We've got I've got some SRAMs here. Now they're all cache RAM. If we take one of these, I've got one that I know is faulty, but if we go down to SRAM there, library, we can select a device, and these are 32K by 8 SRAMs. It seems that it uses the same test for many different makes and models of SRAM, providing it is a 32K by 8, it can test it. So like I said, these are cache RAM chips. Now what we do have to do is we have to stick it in the program with the opposite way to an EEPROM. So instead of the little tab on it going towards the lever, it goes away from the lever, but it still goes right down to the bottom of the tester. So I'll stick one of them in the tester. I'll just show you. Oops. So it fits in the tester like an EEPROM basically goes in with its little tab there. This little tab, oops, there goes that way on, like that, to pin 1. When you're testing these SRAMs, it goes the opposite way, so it goes with the tab upwards, like that. I'll bring you up onto the screen again. So we've got that in there. We select the device, we can test the device. If you look here, it actually runs through. SRAM is OK. Sorry, RAM is OK. So it can actually test an SRAM, make sure it's alright. And like I say, it doesn't test a huge number, but it tests all the ones that most people that are playing with old vintage computers are going to want to test. What I'll just show you a faulty one, just to show that you can distinguish between a good one and a faulty one. I've got a definite faulty SRAM here. We'll stick that one in. Same size, exactly the same size. It's just a different manufacturer. And we'll go test device. Right, straight away bad at 00H, expected 00000, B, red 111111B. So yeah, it can actually test SRAMs. But what I find really interesting, let's just go back to main menu, is it can also test DRAMs. So let's have a look. I've brought some DRAMs down here. I've got a TMS 4164 here. So that's 64K by 1 bit. Pretty much what your C64s, your old breadbend C64s, things like that use. Atari 800 use these. You know, there's quite a lot of computers use these. I've not tried testing one of these yet, but let's have a go with it. Again, I presume it goes into the tester the same way as the SRAM does, so it goes with the little tab facing away from the lever. Let's stick that in there, and we will go. DRAMs are positioned with pin 1 in pin 1 of the ZIF socket, so no, it goes the other way around. Oh no, it doesn't. I think it goes to the top like that. So that should be right. So it goes, the DRAM goes in like that. So the top, pin 1 is at pin 1 of the ZIF socket, which I think is that up there. So this is something you will have to remember using this this piece of test equipment, that you have to orientate the chip in the right way. Right, press a key. Let's select the device, and it's a 64K by 1 16 pin. That's exactly what it is. So let's test the device. RAM is OK. You saw it marching 1s through 64K, marching 0s through 64K, so we can actually test. We'll try another one out of my stock, different, same 64K by 1 bit, but a different manufacturer. What have we got? We've got some NEC ones here. These are all my tested ones, but it is nice to know that with this piece of equipment I can literally fly through DRAMs testing them. I don't know how good it would be testing the old, I can't remember what it is, the 4116, is it? The horrible things out of the Spectrum. I think it might struggle with one of them with all its weird and wonderful voltages, but you never know. No, it can't test one of them, it can only test these. It'd be daft trying to test one of them. Right, let's try this one. Let's test the device. And again, RAM is OK, so it can test them DRAMs. This is going to be a very, very, very useful piece of equipment. And also, as we've said, it can test 74 series logic ICs. So I've got a, what have we got here? And I don't know whether it works or not. We've got an SN7406. So let's see if we can test this. So let's go back to main menu. Let's go up to 7400. Right, it looks like find a match. Let's have a look at that. Oh right, so wow, I think it can actually find out what it is. Let's try, I presume we put it in the same way as we put the DRAM in. So let's put it in up there. So no problem, I don't have the operator's manual for this, so I am guessing a few things at the moment. And let's try that again, find a match. Right, let's try select device. It's a 7406, isn't it? I think it's 7406. Yes, 7406 then. We'll put that back in there. Go down to 7406. Okay, let's try testing the device. Vector test error. Let's wonder if it's not in the right place on the program. Well, let's try just swinging it round. Let's try that. It could be that that part is faulty. Let's try last thing to test. Let's just try it in the other orientation. Ah, yeah, that's it. Sorry. So it goes. So you're testing a DRAM. Oops. It goes down. It goes exactly the same way as an SRAM. So it goes down at the bottom with the tab facing upwards. So I don't think I've got any more 74 series logic kicking around here. It's just I literally just grabbed this little box that's got most of the DRAM and EPROMs in it. But that does appear to be able to test. In fact, that's what we will do. We'll see if we can get that to find it. So we click find a match, and there it goes. Search complete, and its matches are a 7405, a 7406, or a 7416. So it can quite quickly detect what 74 series logic you actually stick in there. So this is really quite an impressive piece of kit. So this wouldn't be something that an amateur would have had back in the day. This is something that, you know, a proper engineering place, a proper electronics engineering development place, something like that. Someone that was doing mass, perhaps programming of EPROMs, perhaps gals and pals, but more likely somewhere that actually needs to test lots of components really quickly and easily. So anyway, I thought I'd show you that thing, seeing I've actually managed to get the software for it and get it up and running. Like I said, I'm sure you'll appreciate that it is absolutely a fantastic piece of hardware for me to actually get in my get my hands on for what I do with all my vintage computers. It'll mean testing components is so much easier and so much faster to do with this thing, and it's quite kind of nice that, I mean, I will have a go at getting the Windows software working, but it is kind of nice that the this MS-DOS software is fairly nice, easy to use. I was planning on having this thing connected up to the old 486 up there, but to be honest, it's probably a lot more use to me running it with this laptop. This is a laptop that's got my Wellum EPROM programmer software on it. And I will be keeping the Wellum because I think this can only do this as big as like 1 megabit by 8 or 1 megabit by 16, something like that. Is where the Wellum will do like 4 megabit chips with the adapter that I've got on it. So I will be keeping that one. But for actually testing like DRAM, testing SRAMs, testing random 74 series logic and what have you, this thing is absolutely fantastic. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there for now. I hope you enjoyed that little look at this Speedmaster 1000 EPROM programmer stroke component tester. So thanks for watching and goodbye.